Yaadman, 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 Yaadman.
Right. Well, you start the MVP conversation. So, how your MVP, I guess, top five looking right now at this point? It's like week
Yeah.
8 in the season now.
Yeah, my MVP, I actually wrote it down, so let me just take a look at it. So, all right. Mine is pretty interesting because I do have Edwards. This is in no order. Actually, it is in order. Edwards is 5 in my
Okay.
MVP ranking. So
Fair.
top 5 start with Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
4, Tatum.
Damn, I
3,
didn't think of that. Mm-hmm.
3, Embiid. 2, Jokic. And 1 is Giannis. Right now, MVP level.
That's fair. Um, that's fair. Let me give you my five. I'll run through each other five, and then maybe we can talk about problems or people that may should get higher recognition than one or either of us gave them. So like my top five right now looking like Embiid at number one. I think like NBA.com them have Embiid number one. Uh, Leading the league in scoring. I think him top five in rebounds. He's like number six in defensive win shares.
Oh, okay.
He's number three in defensive box plus or minus. So those are like some of the more advanced analytics. I went and dug that up. So I'm balling out defensively and offensively. I'm contributing a lot. Them record looking good. So I have Embiid at number one. Got people trying to hate on Embiid like, oh no, they gave him a pity MVP. I'm like dead in that conversation right now to me. I have Giannis at number two because like they have a great record and Giannis is still showing that, he's the man of the team even though he's trying to hand it over to, well, trying to give Lillard more, power within the team. But dropped that big 64 the other day. Them record looking good. He's up there as well in the defensive stuff. I just lost where. Damn, I didn't write down where exactly it was. But I'm up there as well. Number three, actually, I've Shy over Jokic because at this point, I think Nuggets kind of slipped too many games, right? And Jokic, a lot of people don't talk about is that yeah, he'll average like 8 or 9 assists, but typically you'll get like 3, 4 turnovers for those 8 or 9 assists. So it's not like he doesn't come with some turnovers for his assists. And defensively, he's a lot better than people give him credit for. But anyway, I've Shy over Jokic, guys, like second or third in scoring, leading the league in steals, and he's actually second in defensive box plus or minus. So when he's on the court, the other team not really scoring much when he's actually on the court. So Shy is great on defense, balling out on offense. Thunder have a good record. So I have Shy then Jokic. Jokic fourth for the reasons I mentioned before. Still a good team, still balling out. I think he's like top 3 or 2 in rebounding. Like I say, I'm up there in defensive box plus or minus. So I have Jokic at 4 and I have Luka at 5 because Mavericks been performing good. Kyrie went out injured and Luka still able to win games in the absence of Kyrie. So I have to give Luka him respect right now. Before I'd be like, oh no, he's a fake MVP candidate. Now I'm really legit. So I'm like, that's my top 5 right now.
I ain't mad
Yeah,
at
yeah, I like that. I like that top five, and mine kind of resemble it a lot. Number one, kind of for a lot of the same reasons you have Embiid. Even without
Yeah.
Harden there, Philly's still keeping up the same track record as of last year. Embiid
Yeah.
has been imposing, dominating, just overall force. I think Embiid has sat out more fourth quarters than most players and still
Oh shit. Yeah, yeah,
has
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
30 plus points per game or some just scored 40 today.
Crazy.
Embiid is a
Yeah.
monster when it forward to scoring, and he's still doing some of the stuff he was doing last year. So for me, with the deduction of Harden from the side, even though Maxey has improved, to me, Embiid is number one. Number
Nice.
has to be, but thus I think is a teeter between Giannis and Jokic. I think I will lean towards Giannis as the season progresses, but right now it's Jokic because he's had a few injuries on his end and he's still been putting up triple-double like numbers for the season. Jokic is just who he is. He's one of the most, if not the most efficient NBA player. One of the most efficient NBA players we've ever seen. And doing what he's doing and his team is winning. So he's number 2 for me. Plus, number 3, that would be Giannis. Giannis is only 3 because I expected them to be the number 1 seed at this point in time. I look at, as we talked about earlier with the Clippers, take them a while for them to start kettling up and, figure out them schemes and whatnot. I still think they have a lot to figure out, even though they're still eking out wins. When I see them, it still don't look that fluent. Dame don't seem that fluent to me as yet, even though I'm still dropping 30-something point games. Just don't seem the chemistry don't seem as perfect as I think it can be. So there's more to say there. So for now, Giannis is 3rd, but I think he can forward up, make his way high up. 4th is Tatum. Tatum is averaging 30 points per game, 8.7 rebounds. Just overall, what Tatum does. Consistent scorer.
Workhorse.
Yeah. I love him game. And then 5th, big up to Shai. Shai Gilgeous Alexander. I think he's improving as a player. It seems like he's improved on his free throws from 85 to 90-something%. And it's those marginal things, especially as a scorer and a point guard leader for your team. Those are the things you need to do. And that can be the difference between 1 or 2 games, getting you into the playoffs, or 1 or 2 games, winning a playoff game. So big up to Shai, who's averaging right now 30 points per game, about 6.4 assists as well. So dominating performance. And as I say, I think he just scored a game winner the other day. And I think I was talking about Shai game, and I said the man just play at his own pace, and based on that game winner, that's exactly what I'm doing. So he's 5th in my MVP voting. That is it.
I think you guys talking about Tatum, that was a blind spot for me. Cause I recognize, and I was checking the defensive stats, like he's actually 4th in defensive win share. So apparently he's doing a lot on defense that we're not really giving him credit for. Cause we might already be thinking of Jaylen Brown as the real wing defender on the Celtics, but Tatum no slouch either apparently. So I forgive him that respect.
Yeah, and that's why. That's not to cut you, but that's why.
Yeah.
I added him. That's why I mentioned he's a workhorse when Lee was mentioning, because I see him. You can see how active he is on the court when you see him play. Like
he get boards though. One thing about Tatum, he actually get boards. He's
super active, and that's why I gave him a spot on my top 5 as well. I wanted to. It just seemed like the big men dominate the top 5 pause, but I had to make sure include the guards in. Well, he's a forward. Tatum is a forward, but that type of play.
Wing.
In the top 5, make sure Tatum get a look, and Edwards, because their teams are the best in their conference right now.
And Edwards as well. Edwards is another blind spot for me.
Yeah.
No, I respect Edwards. I just think that team, the way that Minnesota constructed, you have Edwards, you have Towns and Rudy, you have Conley. Them really share the weight.
Scoring. Yeah.
So even though with no Edwards to have the ability to have these high scoring games, I think he only averaged 24 points per game. And I said only that that's not really good. That's really good. But in this nowadays NBA, Tatum is averaging 30.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's what them dudes they're doing over there. They're averaging 30. Luka averaging 29. Like these are point guards doing this. So that's just what I'm saying. And defensively though, as you guys talking about workhorse, he's in defensive ratings. I think he's top 5 in the league right now, or at least top 10 in terms of his perimeter defense.
Yeah.
He's really
That's a
up
point.
there.
Who, Edwards?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Really, I think everybody on the panel right there, so we rate Edwards,
Yeah,
For
don't
sure.
get distracted, bro, and pull up.